2 weeks. You will experience the last show. Yeah, good to be here. Good that you are here. And this is our first US tour that is coming to an end right now. And it feels a bit sad, but it also feels good. We have had a good 2 weeks. This is the 9th show in 2 weeks. We started in Minneapolis, and then we drove to Madison, and then we drove to Chicago, and flew down to Albuquerque, and drove to Colorado, and drove here. So we've seen a lot. And it's been good to see your beautiful country. So we are Scandinavians, and we will teach you a bunch of things about Sweden and Scandinavia. Do we have any Swedish speakers here? One? No? No, too shy. So no Swedish speaker. Do we have any Estonian speaker? Estonia. Estonia is a small country. It's the smallest country closest to Russia. You know, the Baltic countries. And the reason why I asked was because the first song was in Swedish and the second one was in Estonian. And Estonia is 40 minutes away from Stockholm by flight. But their language is still like Greek to us. So we understand as much as you do from the Estonian song. Yes, but it's a lovely little country, and we are a Swedish-Estonian band, so that's why we also sing in Estonian. But the rest of the show you will hear is Swedish, pure Swedish, and we will teach you some Swedish, and we will teach you some Scandinavian customs. One Scandinavian custom is to kind of be introvert and melancholic. This is very typical Swedish and Scandinavia. In general, I think Danes, they are the ones who differ. They are more party. I mean, the Swedes and the Finns, you have to actually pour some beer into them before they become party. Then they are unstoppable, but yes. So this next song we're going to play is a nice mixture, I think, between the very introvert Swedes, the Swedish custom of being introvert and melancholic, and you can, in the verses, you can really smell the pine tree forests, and you can picture this lonely Swede sitting in his cabin in Sweden, the Swedish forest, and drinking his beer alone. And then we have the choruses, which are more like North America. They are more open, and we will sing, this bird will fly, and he will sing, the bird will sing, let life hit me, I have my soul as a shield, just come and get me if you can. So that's the North American choruses, and I like the contrast between these two. And I think I am somewhere in the middle. Perfect place, in the middle. So here it is, Svarta sparvens sorg, which means the sorrow of the black sparrow.
Till play something completely different for you. We're going to sing a sailor shanty. And as you might, doesn't matter much if you have a close connection to a sea or not, because most places have their own sailor shanties anyway. And the themes of this type of song is also very much the same. It's lost love, it's a lot of complaining about the weather, it's always bad, and it's surprisingly a lot of death in these songs as well.
Either death because of a broken heart or death because of bad weather. You choose.
Sometimes both. Yeah, this one is it's about a sailor going to sea, of course, and he's leaving his loved one behind. He's going out in the world looking for adventures, but he ends up in a bad storm and he drowns. But when he meets the king of the ocean, he also realizes that the thing he was looking for all the time was the eyes of his loved one that he left behind.
So he had to die to realize that.
Yeah, stupid guy.
Now I wonder, do you know any Swedish words? No? What? Hej då? Yes, goodbye. Anything else?
Not yet. We're not done yet.
Smörrebröd, that's
Danish.
I mean, you say it in Swedish, but it's a Danish thing, smörrebröd. It's like a cake they have. Very strange. Things are very hard. Do we have any Danish people in here? No, okay, so we can say whatever we like.
Do you know school? Yeah. Okay, so I will teach you some Swedish now, because you have to help me sing the next song in Swedish. So the first line we're going to sing is Himmelen så blå, and it means the sky is so blue. Okay, let's try to say it together. Himmelen så blå. One more time. Very good. Okay, and the next one is Havet kallar då, and it means the ocean is calling you. Okay, let's try. Havet kallar då. One more time. Perfect. Now you're experts. We need a melody as well. And the first line goes like this. Himmelen så blå.
Himmelen så blå.
One more time. Himmelen så blå.
Himmelen så blå.
Good. And the next one is Havet kallar då.
Havet kallar då.
Perfect. Okay. So I sing first and then you sing next. Över stranden där vi brukar stå. Himmelen så blå. Vinden viner, seglen det slår. Havet kallar då. Måsarna skrämmer, luften är sval. Himmelen frågar mig sakta varför jag här. Havet kallar då. Stranden är öde, vattnet är kallt. Havet kallar så. Livet jag lämnar, mitt hjärta, mitt allt. Och ögonen. Det vill lämna fotspår i havets tårar. Det var en senvår, vi går genom världen,
So, have you heard about the 4 miseries of Scandinavia? Have you been to Scandinavia? Well, that's not part of the 4 miseries of Scandinavia, but I kind of agree. I hate IKEA. It's the worst. Sunday mornings at IKEA, don't go there. So yes, maybe it's 5 miseries then. IKEA is the last one. Okay, so you have been to IKEA, that's great. Anyone else who has been to not IKEA but actually Scandinavia? What?
Swedish meatballs.
Well, you have already started the list, that's amazing. We will get back to this list a bit later. I think we will start with the 4 miseries. We have to do it from the right end, otherwise it will be strange. So we have Iceland. And Icelandics, they will be like, oh, it was pretty good before, and it's pretty good now, and I'm happy, and everything is good. And then so this is your tour, you are going to Scandinavia now, so you have to stop first at Iceland. That's how they are there. Kind of nice, pretty happy, content with life. And then you fly over to Norway, and Norwegians will be like, it was pretty good before. It's not as good anymore, but it was good. I remember that it was good, and I am happy for that time. Then you'll come to Sweden. You'll take a car and you cross the mountains, and then you go over to Sweden. And the Swedes will be like, it wasn't very good before. I mean, it was not very bad either, but it was not good. But it was alright. I survived. I'm still alive. But now it's even worse. That would be the Swedes. And then you go to Finland, you take the ferry over to Finland, and at the border from the ferry, you will meet this guy sitting in this cabin, at this border control, and you'll ask him, how are you doing? And he will be like, it was not good before, and it's not good now, and it will never be good. That's the 4 miseries. And speaking of the 4 miseries, now we're going to sing a medieval ballad for you. Have you heard about the medieval ballads? No? So Sweden especially, we have them in all of Scandinavia with some variations, but Sweden especially is the center of the medieval ballads. And that is the old lyrics from several hundreds of years ago that we have in our archives. And we have different themes on these medieval ballads. One thing that is in common between these themes is death. All of them ends with death. And then the other thing is they are very long. They are like 500 verses and no one remembers them. And yes, so those two things, they go over all the themes. But then we have themes like, we have the washing themes, so then we have songs. Well, I should probably say that what we are doing is based on traditional music. And in traditional music was and is music for occasions. So if you would wash, for example, you would sing, and you would have songs to make it more fun. So we have medieval ballads with for example, washing theme. And we have medieval ballads with strange creatures in the woods, and so on. We have different types. We have a lot of different versions of these within these different themes. So there are a lot of medieval ballads. If you're interested in older, Sweden is the place to go. But here we will sing a gruesome horror story with a lot of death, of course. We are the third misery of Scandinavia. And this song will be Lite Kerstin, Little Kerstin. Kerstin is a name. That's the wife. Yes, that's not her real name, but in this song it's her name. And I will be the husband. And Lite Kerstin, she's crying so much. It's Saturday evening and she's crying so much, and she's crying blood because her husband has died. And she's crying so much that her husband rises from the grave, and he goes to her and knocks on the door with a stone cold hand, and she lets him in and she washes him in the purest of wine and dries him off with a most beautiful linen. They lie down in the bed, they don't sleep, they just talk all night. And then eventually the husband will say that you have to come with me because the bells are calling me back to the grave. And here there are different versions. Some versions they go to the grave and he brings her wife with him and she dies. We chose a little best of version.
That was the Finnish version.
Maybe that was the IKEA version, maybe. But that's how I feel when I go to IKEA on Sundays anyway. But so we have looked at many different versions in this theme, and we did a best of version. And in our version, they go to the grave, and he says, so I will say, the husband will say, you are not allowed to come with me. You should stay and you should live your life and be happy. And he's pretty upset, and he will say, you should know that when you cry, there will be drops of blood dropping into my coffin. But you should also know that when you smile, there will be flowers growing on top of my grave. So here it is, Sorgens makt, the power of the grief. I knew our time was so short, that's the last thing Kate and Kerstin is singing. We still have a bit more time, so we don't have to worry. Are you up for some more? So, US has hosted us now for 2 weeks, but now it's time for us to bring you back home to our place. So we had one who had been in Sweden. Where were you in Sweden?
Stockholm. Took the train across to Oslo.
Okay.
Stockholm.
So Stockholm is Sweden and then to Oslo.
Yeah.
That's a nice train ride.
Yeah, 300 circles.
Okay, you went north.
Went north to Boulder.
Nice. Nice. Well, I'm sorry to say, but you missed the best place of Sweden. So the best place is actually pretty close to Stockholm. It would be Uppsala. It's 40 minutes north from Sweden, and it's the 4th biggest city of Sweden, and that's where I'm from, and my brother on the bass is also from Uppsala. Obviously, because we are brothers, so we are from the same place. But we are not only from Uppsala, we are actually from a little village outside Uppsala, and it's called Håga. And Håga is a special place. Håga is the center of the world. And it was already the center of the world 1300 before Christ, because Håga was one of the 4 biggest Viking strongholds back in that time. Yes, so it's an old place, and you have to. So if you take a car from Uppsala, so it's the 4th biggest city. It doesn't say much in American measurements. It's a small town, but it's the 4th biggest in Sweden. And if you go from the city center by car, you have 5 minutes drive, maybe 7 depending on who is driving, to Håga. And you have to cross this little bridge. It's like the Narnia bridge, where there are trees and bushes hanging over the bridge, and there are no signs. So the ones who doesn't know, they don't know, they never come. But the ones who do know, they know that it's the best place. And you cross this bridge, you drive over the fields, and you go up for a little hill, and then you pass the farm with horses and cows and sheep on the left-hand side, and then you will come to our grave mound on the left-hand side, we will come back to that one. And then you continue, and you will come to the village, and it's in the middle of a valley, and this whole valley was the center for Vikings already 1300 before Christ. But if you pass the village and go to the other side, what do we find there?
If you pass the village, you will come to a small waterfall in the woods there.
And when we say waterfall, we don't mean American waterfalls like we mean Swedish waterfalls.
I'm painting a picture here, you're ruining it. It's a waterfall, okay. But if you're there looking for it, you might be surprised at how small it is, yes. But it's a waterfall.
You can hear it when you pass the woods, you can hear it.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but you can hear it.
And there's a bridge over the waterfall, okay? Don't ruin it. And next to this place, there's an old mill. And it's not from Viking times, but it's still a few hundred years old, so it's quite old. But this is a place where we played a lot when we were kids. During long summer nights, it's a magic place. The fog is coming out through the forest, and you never know what's going to happen.
And so, my friend, vi följde vägen längs medeln vid kvarnens fot. Vi hörde vattenfallet stå från sten till sten. Men lätta hopp försvann ut i stjärnors sken. Och våran längtan utan
one more tune. One more song. So on the other side of the village, we are still in Håga, the center of the world. On the other side, we have the grave mound that I mentioned. We call it a grave pile, because it looks like a little pile. It's not actually much bigger than this stage, and maybe the same height as the ceiling here. So it's not a huge pile, it's just a little pile with the green grass on top of it. And on the other side of Uppsala, we actually have the same type of piles, but they are trash piles. So that's human-made in modern time, where they put trash and now it looks like small grey mounds, even though it's not. So the only way you can find out if you are on an actual grave or if it's a trash pile, you have to bring your shovel and start digging. That's how you know. But anyway, on our side of the village or town, in Håga, in our village, we have a pile which is from 1300 before Christ. And these graves, that was the Vikings' way of burying important people. So either kings or queens were buried in these type of piles. And you can find these piles in Sweden and Denmark mainly, but also Norway and Finland has them as well. Wherever the Vikings ended up, I suppose you can find them. But you should know that Uppsala is famous for the old Uppsala, and it's not like the old town of Uppsala, it's where the Uppsala, the town, was located before. So it's a place where Uppsala was located. Now, there are only 12 grave piles over there, and that is what Uppsala is famous for. There are 12 grave piles. The only thing, and I should tell you that Håga, our village, which you have to come and visit, it's like a little hidden gem, so people still don't really know about Håga. They go to Gamla Uppsala still. But those piles, the 12 piles in Gamla Uppsala, they are from 800 after Christ. Our pile is from 1300 before Christ. And this means that it's closer in time from us to the piles in Old Uppsala than it is from Old Uppsala to the pile in Håga. Isn't that amazing? I feel my brain dripping out my ears when I think about the time distances here. Anyway, in this pile, and this is the little twist, we call it Kung Björn's pile. King Björn is buried in this pile, they say. The only thing is that King Björn, he lived 1,000 years later. So I think that King Björn was a very good marketing specialist, and we should probably learn something from him. But yes, we still call it Kung Björns hög, and here is Kung Björns polska, and the melody will be in the bass. one last song. So thank you very much for being kind people and taking care of us. We are not afraid anymore, even though we are not looking forward to the next visa process. So I hope you speak with someone before we actually start the next visa process. Good deal. But anyway, one thing that Canadians are very good at, except competing with US, they are very good at buying CDs and t-shirts. So we thought when going here that US is a bigger country and you are not worse than Canada. So we brought a lot of CDs and a lot of t-shirts for you to bring home. And please do remember that it's soon Christmas. And you always need nice shirts and good music when it's Christmas time.
And you realize that since this is the last show on this tour, we don't want to bring anything back home. So you have
a lot of t-shirts out there. And candy, we have Swedish candy.
Only 4 left.
Only 4 left of the Swedish candy. Seems like you guys like candies here. And we also have tank tops, t-shirts, CDs, and candies. That's what we do have. And also we love talking, as you have noticed. So please come talk with us and tell us things and ask questions if you're interested in Scandinavia, or especially Sweden. Okay, that was the commercial break.
Where is the t-shirts?
Oh, it will be out there, and we will also be out there. We will be very quick out there. So that's where we talk. That's where we meet. Good. So you started your Swedish list by yourself earlier in this concert. Are you still up for doing a Swedish list?
I don't remember what was on the list.
IKEA, the fifth melancholy of yes. Sorry?
Meatball.
Should I take it off the list? No, this is Swedish list. We can't take IKEA off the Swedish list. That's like... No, that's not going to work. It's like taking off ABBA from the Swedish list. That will not work either. Okay, so now we've started. That's the list. And you also said, I think, meatballs somewhere here in the middle. Do you want to make a list together with us? Yeah? So what do you know?
Human behavior by pork.
Human behavior by...
Pork. It's an Iceland.
Yeah, but that's not Swedish.
We need the most Swedish things that you can imagine.
Oh, there you have it. He's very Swedish.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes, she's also very Swedish. Even though she doesn't want to speak Swedish in Swedish television, she wants to speak English. Yes. But she is very Swedish. I think she's faking it.
And today actually was a very special day in Sweden. Do you know?
No.
You don't?
I know.
Okay.
Oh, it was...
We celebrate, like 1 million people celebrate this day because we only eat kanelbullar, cinnamon rolls today. So it's a cinnamon roll day in Sweden today. It's very important and very Swedish.
That's definitely on the list. It feels like you are either shy or you don't know much about Sweden. Is that it? The what? The Nobel Prize, absolutely on the list. Yes.
What I remember is history that Sweden was a country that it helped our soldiers in World War II escape the Nazis or evade them and be able to come home. And I thank you guys for that.
Yes, it was all our effort here.
We did some nasty things too. Maybe we should just not talk.
Okay, you seem to know some things about Sweden. Do you want to know the most Swedish thing? Like the undoubtedly most Swedish thing? That would be the Polska, and it comes from Poland. And that is the most Swedish thing we have. It came from Poland in the beginning of 1600. The Polish dance. The Polish dance in June time. So we play traditional music in a modern way, but still based on tradition. And when you play Swedish traditional music, Polska is the center of the tradition. And it came from Poland in the beginning of 1600. It came to Germany. The Germans hated it So they sent the Polish dance up north to Denmark, and the Danes, they didn't like it either. Yes, we don't have any Danes in here, so they didn't like it either. They sent it up to Sweden, but nowadays, Danish people, they claim that they have always played polskas. And I have a theory. I think they think that Swedes are so freaking cool with their polska playing, so they dug deep in their archives, and then they came afterwards and said, oh, you guys, we have always played polskas. We found polska in our archive. But when it came to Sweden, something magical happened, because the whole country started playing polskas right away. And we have never stopped playing polskas. 400 years of polska playing, and we are not going to stop. And we have already played a polska for you. It was the last tune, if you remember, the Kunjans polska. And now we're going to play another polska for you. And it's in 3/4, and you will see us look very funny while playing this, because you feel it on 3, 1, 3.